The murder of Russia's last Tsar has been a much-debated mystery for some 90 years. Now the probe into the execution of the royal family has finally been brought to a close. RT's Anastasia Serdyukova has the story.
The murder of the last Tsar and his family has been one of the great mysteries of Russian history. But now investigators are formally bringing the case to a close, with conclusive identification of the royal family's remains 90 years after they were killed. For descendants of Tsar Nicholas II, it brings real closure.
The head of the Russian imperial house, Maria Romanova, thinks that enough time has passed since the launch of the investigation in 1993 to come to a conclusion as to whose remains were discovered near Ekaterinburg.
This cathedral stands at the site where Nicholas II, his wife and 5 children were shot dead in 1918, executed on the order of the revolutionary Soviet authorities. Their bodies were buried in secret in the city's outskirts. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, a local scientist claimed he'd found the graves. The remains of 9 bodies were discovered. DNA and other tests conducted by Russian and international scientists proved they were those of the Tsar, his wife and 3 daughters, as well as 4 associates of the royal family. But the bodies of Prince Alexei and his sister Maria were still missing. In 2007, the bones of a boy and a young woman were found near the exhumed grave.
Substantial expertise in anthropology, genetics and pathology have given a definitive answer. These are the remains of Prince Alexei and Princess Maria.
Investigators here say the probe lasted more than 15 years is finally over. Now it's up to the Russian authorities to decide where and when the remains of the 2 children of the last Russian Tsar will be finally buried. Yet historians say closing the case is more than just a tribute to the dead.
Through Nicholas II, Russians begin to realize that their country starts not from 1917, but that there is centuries-long history before that.
The fate of the last Tsar and his family is no longer a mystery and fills what was once a hidden void in Russian history. Anastasia Serdyukova, RT Moscow.